You're watching Prep Sports Live, your home for high school sports. I'm Elsie Hernandez, and it's a cold night here at El Camino High School, where the Wildcats are ready to take on the Steel Canyon Cougars. I'll have all the highlights of the game later on, but first let me toss it over to Melina. Melina, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Ilse. I'll be bringing you all the highlights from the Division II semifinal game between number 6 Otay Ranch and number 2 Rancho Bernardo. The winner of this game will play the winner of Ivy's game. So I'll send it over to her to give you the details. Ivy?
Indeed, Melina, the Valhalla Norsemen and the Mount Carmel Sun Devils are facing off tonight in the CIF Division II semifinals. To find out how each team did, stay tuned. But before that, I'm going to toss it over to Jasmine, who's in studio. Jasmine?
Thanks, Ivy. Coming up, I've got the Bigs Harley-Davidson of San Marcos Division I CIF semifinal game of the week, featuring the team with the most CIF championship wins on record against a team coming off of a shutout last week with a final score of only 4 points apart. You won't want to miss this nail-biting matchup. So kick back your shoes and relax your feet because Prep Sports Live starts right now.
Welcome back to Prep Sports Live, your home for high school sports. I'm Jay Brown.
And I'm Austin Arninger. Tonight we have a very special show planned for this postseason edition. There's been a noticeable trend in sports reporting in recent years. In the American Society of News Editors' most recent survey, 90% of sports editors are male.
That's right, Austin. Women's Media Center reported last year that less than 24% of sports reporters are women. Here at PSL, we don't like limiting our pool of competent, capable, and talented reporters to less than half of the population. Tonight, we're going to showcase our ladies of PSL. We feel that our best reporters, so let's jump right into the action.
Ivy Gutierrez is out Valhalla, where the Norsemen host Mount Carmel in a game of fire and ice. Both these teams are coming off wins last week where they scored over 40 points against Christian and Westview, respectively. Valhalla is seated at number 1 and Mount Carmel is in 4th. Let's send it over to Ivy to see how it went.
Austin, it's semifinals tonight here where the Mount Carmel Sun Devils have traveled east to take on the Valhalla Norsemen. Now, the last time these two teams met was back in 2010 when Mount Carmel took home the W. Now, will the Valhalla Norsemen be able to avenge that loss? Let's roll those highlights and find out. Semifinals taking rain tonight. The Sun Devils take on the Valhalla Norsemen. Jumping right into second quarter action, Lucas Johnson wastes no time and dashes right into the end zone. Lucas Johnson throws a nice touch pass and meets Dane Hines in the end zone for touchdowns for 13-0 Mount Carmel. Third quarter, Valhalla's Jerome Johnson gets the ball and zips his way through the defenders and drags them into the end zone with him. The Sun Devils say nice try, Valhalla, and the ball meets Keon Gold in the end zone for another beautiful touchdown. Scored 20-7 Mount Carmel. Fourth quarter, a quick handoff from Lucas to Rashid Shahid goes flying through the Norseman defense for another score. Valhalla puts up a fight. Philip Nazate throws it long to Connor Chamberlain, who's wide open for a touchdown. Not giving up just yet, the Norsemen try for one last play, but Mount Carmel was too much for them. Mount Carmel wins 27-14 and advances to CIF. I caught up with Lucas Johnson afterwards.
I'm feeling great, but my team made it real easy on me. My linemen were blocking and my receivers were running great routes. I just had to put it up and give them a chance.
Austin, history repeated itself tonight here at Valhalla High School as Mount Carmel beat the Norsemen yet again 5 years later. Now Mount Carmel advances to the CIF Finals next week. From Prep Sports Live, I'm Ivy Gutierrez. Back to you, Austin.
Thanks, Ivy. Despite the messy first half with 2 fumbles lost and 2 interceptions, this turned into a great semifinal game that was captivating until the final play. Mount Carmel will play the winner of the Rancho Bernardo and OT Ranch matchup next week at Southwestern College. Next up, we have an open division semifinal matchup between the Mission Hills Grizzlies and the St. Augustine Saints. Mission Hills came into this game undefeated but was favored to win, but the Saints had an angel in the outfield, or should I say backfield. First quarter, Elijah Preston explodes through the center of the defense and then freezes the safety in place, breaking to the outside, running hard for 77 yards. This then set him up for a 3-yard touchdown run early in the first quarter. Onwards to the second as quarterback Rodney Thompson escapes on a naked bootleg to put the Saints up 14-0. Then Mission Hill's Jack Tuttle gets them back in the game as he hits Troy Warner on the slant. It's then 14-7, but Elijah Preston decides to break off another long touchdown run. Then Thompson rolls out and throws a dart in the end zone, and Jacob Baker makes a nice catch in traffic for the score. St. Augustine leads 27-7 at halftime, and the third quarter begins fast as Rodney Thompson shows off his speed, keeping it on a read option and burns the defense for a 73-yard touchdown run. Elijah Preston then scores his third touchdown of the game, bringing him to 28 on the season with over 2,000 yards rushing. In garbage time, Mission Hills was able to score again as Jack Tuttle launches one deep for Troy Warner, who makes a gorgeous catch and escapes the grasp of the defender for the 70-yard touchdown. In the fourth, backup running back Daryl Broussard closes out the game with a 44-yard touchdown of his own. St. Augustine wins 48-14. We did not see that one coming. Elijah Preston put the team on his back, rushing 27 times for 236 yards and 3 touchdowns. They'll look to ride that momentum into Southwestern College next week as they play the winner of our next matchup.
We have to take a quick break to go powder our noses.
But don't go anywhere. Up next, we have an open division face-off when Prep Sports Live returns.
My name is Arian Foster, and you're watching Prep Sports Live.
My name's Eric Jackson.
My name's Chris Brown.
And you're watching Prep Sports Live.
Looking for these? You drive Buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Really?
Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Davidson of San Marcos is proud to bring North County Families High School football on Prep Sports Live.
You're watching Prep Sports Live, your home for high school sports.
Welcome back to our playoff edition of PSL. If you've missed any episodes, you can visit our website at www.prepsportslivesd.com and catch up on everything.
This week I traveled to the Helix as the Highlanders host the Cathedral Catholic Dons. This open division matchup is deja vu, as this is the second year in a row these teams meet in the semifinals. And it is also the second time this season as they faced off in week 3. The Scotties haven't lost since week 1 to Chaparral High School out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and they've outscored opponents 445 to 112. But Cathedral Catholic is on a winning streak of 3 games. Who will go on to take on St. Augustine? Let's jump right to the action. The Dons and the Highlanders meet for the second time this season. To the first, Mike Austin hands the ball off to Nathan Stinson, or does he? Austin makes a break upfield and turns on the Jets with a 55-yard touchdown run. Cathedral looks to even the score, but a Tate Haynes pass is tipped by Forrest Hanlon and into the arms of Nicholas Solis for the pick six, 14-0 Helix. The Dons finally get on the board as Tate Haynes goes up the middle for the quarterback sneak and a 6-yard touchdown run to bring Cathedral within 7. Helix is in striking distance, but Michael Austin is stopped by Cathedral's defense and will settle for a 30-yard Matthias Layton field goal, 17-7 Highlanders. To the second, Matthias Layton is solid from 33 yards out to extend Helix's lead by 13. The Dons were in a scoring position, but a penalty would lead to a miscue by Tate Haynes and Ezekiel Noah returning an interception 90 yards for the score, 27-7 Helix. Matthias Layton is true from 42 yards out for his third field goal of the night, extending the lead by 23. To the third, Nathan Stinson gets the rock, shakes a tackle, cuts upfield, makes more defenders miss, then turns on the afterburners for an 80-yard touchdown run, 37-7 Helix. Matthias Layton comes on for his fourth attempt of the night and splits the uprights from 30 yards out. To the fourth, the damage is already done, but Hogan Irwin adds 7 for Cathedral Catholic. A safety late in the game would go on to add the score 42-14. The Dons found themselves on the end of another tough loss at the hand of the Highlanders. The dynamic duo of Michael Austin and Nathan Stinson were just too much for the Cathedral Catholic defense to handle. Helix will be looking for the win in the Open Division Championship game after suffering a loss last season against the Oceanside Pirates.
You're going to want to hold your horses for this next matchup. Melina Valdez is with the Rancho Bernardo Broncos as they host the Otay Ranch Mustangs in their paddock. The Mustangs had a surprising win when they upset Granite Hills. Rancho Bernardo made it all the way to the Division II championship game last year before they lost to El Capitan. This year they want it more than ever. Will it be enough to corral the Mustangs? Let's send it over to Melina.
Thanks, Austin. The Mustangs and the Broncos are ready to race to the Division II championships, but first they'll have to one up the other to get there. Which team will cross the finish line first? Let's roll those highlights to find out. Which one of these teams will buck their way to the finish line? In the first quarter, Mark Salazar hands the ball off to Milan Grice, who scores the first touchdown for Rancho Bernardo. The ball gets handed to Grice, who zigzags in for a second touchdown, the score 14-0 Rancho Bernardo. In the second quarter, Milan Grice gets the ball and runs from the 45-yard line to the end zone, making the score 31-6 for the Broncos. In the third quarter, Milan takes the pitch and slices up the defense and scores the fifth touchdown of the game. In the fourth quarter, Samuel Stevens catches a bubble screen pass and runs the ball all the way down to the end zone, scoring a touchdown for the Mustangs. The final score, 48-14 Rancho Bernardo. After the game, I pulled Milan Grice aside and asked him how he felt about going into the Division II finals.
It's a surreal feeling, just to come back again. This time having a chance to win it all, so it's just going to come and bring it.
The Rancho Bernardo Broncos set the tone on the first play of the game and didn't look back. A rigid defense and Milan Grice's 5 touchdowns sent them straight for the Division II championships. Back to you, Austin.
Thanks, Melina. The Broncos made it look easy. They move on to the championship where they meet up with Mount Carmel at Southwestern College on Saturday. We've had some good games, but you haven't seen anything yet.
Stick around because we have more Friday night highlights coming up.
In a bit, I have the Biggs Harley-Davidson of San Marcos Game of the Week highlights for the Point Loma Pointers and Oceanside Pirates CIF semifinal matchup. It was a close game, so stay tuned to Prep Sports Live to find out who came out on top.
You're watching Prep Sports Live, your home for high school sports.
I'm Eric Allen, 6-time Pro Bowler and ESPN analyst. Whenever I'm watching the tube and sports, I'm watching Prep Sports Live.
Eric Weddle, the San Diego Chargers. When I'm not playing football, I'm with Prep Sports Live watching some high school football.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Biggs Harley-Davidson of San Marcos is proud to bring North County Families High School football on Prep Sports Live.
You're watching Prep Sports Live, your home for high school sports.
Welcome back to Prep Sports Live. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now Periscope. Use the hashtag PSL Fan of the Week when tagging photos for a chance to be featured on a future episode. For the second year in a row, the Steel Canyon Cougars met the El Camino Wildcats in the Division I playoffs. Last year was a very close game with El Camino out on top by a hair. Let's send it over to Ilse Hernandez to see if El Camino will be able to do it again.
Thanks, Jay. It's semifinals here at El Camino High School where the Steel Canyon Cougars and the El Camino Wildcats are ready to claw their way to a victory and a spot in a Division I final. Let's roll those highlights and see who takes the win. In the first quarter, Bo Gallegos finds Aries Jackson in the end zone for a 14-yard scoring pass. In the second, Steel Canyon's quarterback Thomas Fishburne took the keeper around the right end for a 12-yard touchdown. Wildcats take the lead with a 27-yard scoring handoff from Bo Gallegos to Chris Brown over the left side. No action in the third, but in the fourth quarter, once again, number 27, Chris Brown with a 37-yard touchdown, his second of the night. El Camino on the 1-yard line. Number 11, Spencer Katuanga rushes the ball into the end zone for another Wildcat touchdown. With 2 minutes left of the game, Fishburne passes it to Nia Johnson for the Cougars' last 54-yard scoring pass. Final score, El Camino 28, Steel Canyon 18. I talked to Chris Brown and Aries Jackson after the game about next week's big final.
It's a big game coming up, and we just got to strategize, stay disciplined, and get after it.
El Camino was able to pull through this weather with a win. They'll be facing Oceanside next week in the CIF final. Back to you, Jay.
Thanks, Ilse. El Camino now gets their rematch against the Oceanside Pirates, who they lost to just 3 weeks ago. They are now determined to show their improvement for the Division I championship.
Araceli Pinzon has a Division III matchup between Valley Center and Mission Bay. The Buccaneers have incredible momentum coming off their 62-point win against Fallbrook last week, and the Jaguars are feeling confident after their shutout game defeating Morse High School.
Hi, Austin. The Jaguars and the Buccaneers defense had amazing games last week, but it's going to take a lot of mental fortitude by Valley Center's defense to stop the Mission Bay's offense. Let's see if the Jaguars can take home the victory. Let's roll those highlights.
The Buccaneers are getting ready to start the game. First quarter, Rhett Riley sent a pass to Brock Muffin for the first touchdown of the night, 7-0 Valley Center. Second quarter, QB Rhett Riley sent a pass again to Brock Muffin for his second touchdown of the night, 14-0 Valley Center. Jaron Correa connects with Nigel Harness Anderson for a 14-yard touchdown pass, 14-6 Jaguars. Rhett Riley goes through the air to Jake Newman for a 30-yard touchdown pass, 21-6 Jaguars. Jaden Correa passed out the ball to the running back Derek Clark and fakes out the defense with a deep pass down the field to Jabari Ransom. Third quarter, Jaden Correa connects once again with Nigel Harness Anderson for a 10-yard touchdown pass, 28-21 Jaguars. Jaden Correa hands off the ball to Derek Clark for a 10-yard touchdown. 2 minutes left on the game. The Buccaneers take the lead with a field goal from Efrain Sentis. Trying to tie up the game, Red Riley throws a beautiful pass to his receiver. The call on the field was an interception by Mission Bay, which ended the Jaguars' hope for a comeback.
The Jaguars started the game strong on the first quarter with the 14-0 lead. At the start of the third quarter, the positive attitude and teamwork is what kept the Bucs alive, with a great defense and a last-minute touchdown. Back to you in the studio, Austin.
Thanks, Araceli. Now, this semifinal game was served hot with a side of controversy. Let's roll that last play again.
When Valley Center's Rhett Riley threw the ball to Nico Hernandez, it was called an interception by the refs. Valley Center argues that Hernandez was down. If you take a close look, it looks like the ball actually hits the ground.
Now, this was a crucial play because had the Jaguars maintained possession, they would have had 3 more downs to potentially tie the game with Mission Bay.
It's that time of the show, folks, for the Biggs Harley-Davidson of San Marcos Game of the Week. Our very own Jasmine Leoning is here in studio to give us the results of this Division I showdown.
Well, Jay, the Point Loma Pointers have blown out their last 4 opponents, while the Oceanside Pirates have claimed victory over their last 3. The winner of this Division I CIF semifinal matchup will go on to advance to the championship. So, which one of these teams fought hard enough to claim the championship ring? Let's jump into the action to find out. The Oceanside Pirates warm up before their big CIF semifinal game against the Point Loma Pointers. Within 2 minutes of the first, operating out of pistol formation, Robbie Beardsley hands off the ball to Nico Mangueo for a 2-yard score, 7-zip Oceanside. Soon after, the Pirates punting from their own 22-yard line, but Arthur Daniels was quick to block it, which provided the Pointers with their first points of the night, 7-all. Wrapping up the first, Pirates quarterback Beardsley gives the ball to running back Mangueo, who runs it in from a yard out for his second score of the night, 14-7 Oceanside. Second quarter action, Beardsley connects with a wide-open Anthony Martinez on a 30-yard pitch and catch, 21-7 Pirates. Early in the third, Brendan Torrance takes the snap from the Pirates 13, but confusion forces a broken play, and Torrance scrambles around the defense to reach the pylon, 21-14 Oceanside. Still in the third, Beardsley receives the ball from the Pointers 28 and sidesteps the rush to find a wide-open Taj Apodaca waiting for him in the end zone, 28-14 Pirates. Wrapping up the third, Point Loma standing on the doorstep, and Torrance breaks the threshold with a 1-yard quarterback sneak. The Pointers go on to score a 33-yard field goal before finalizing the game at 28-24 Oceanside. After the game, I talked to head coach David Rodriguez about his preparation plans for their next matchup.
It'll be interesting preparing for El Camino, having played not so long ago. But again, now that everything's on the line and we're playing for a ring, we gotta have our homework done, and we're gonna start breaking down film. And I probably won't sleep tonight.
As you just saw, this was quite a high-intensity football game. A valiant effort was made by the Point Loma Pointers. However, the Oceanside Pirates came in clutch on a handful of plays to take home that win. Next week, the Pirates go on to play El Camino Wildcats in the CIF Division I championship round. Jay, back to you.
Thanks, Jasmine. That is a championship rivalry you won't want to miss. When they played earlier this season, Oceanside beat El Camino 29-7. Now that all the semifinal results are in, let's take a look at this week's championship matchups, starting with the Open Division. You've got the number 1 Helix Highlanders hosting the number 2 St. Augustine Saints. Now, Austin, this is a great rivalry matchup here. We've got Nate Stinson and we have Elijah Preston, 2 great running backs in this San Diego section that are facing off each other. What do you think about this?
Well, it's definitely going to be an enticing matchup to see the two of them, both incredibly gifted runners, and we're definitely going to see them at the next level. One thing I'm interested to see is how well the quarterbacks do. They know they've got great running backs. How are they going to step up heading into this game?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Let's go ahead and jump into Division I. Now, Division I, we have a great Avocado League rivalry matchup here with the number 1 Oceanside Pirates and the number 3 El Camino Wildcats. Now, this is a rivalry of 3 weeks ago in the city championship. So, Austin, give me your takes on this.
Well, Oceanside's been here before many times. Obviously, they're going to be with David Rodriguez this time. But he's still experienced enough to take them in and win this game. El Camino is on a 3-game winning streak, however, since losing to Oceanside. So it'll be really interesting to see if they can come back with a vengeance to take this win.
Absolutely, and you know what? Oceanside is not used to being in Division I. They're used to being in the Open Division Championship, so it'll be interesting to see how well they do. Let's go ahead and jump into Division II. Okay, we've got another rivalry game here out of the Palomar League. We've got the number 2 Rancho Bernardo Broncos against the number 4 Mount Carmel Sun Devils. Austin, what are your takes on this one?
Well, you know, Milan Grice is coming off a 5-touchdown performance, and he's going to be looking to be red hot going into this game. However, it's going to be really tough for their defense to stop quarterback Lucas Johnson. The guy makes plays all over the place, running around, getting loose, and he's got a cannon of an arm.
Yeah, Lucas Johnson is a San Diego State commit. Okay, let's jump right into Division III. And so basically we have here the Bonita Vista Barons and the Mission Bay Buccaneers. Now, Mission Bay coming off that controversial win last week. Tell me your thoughts about what you think about this one.
Well, you know, they do deserve to be here. They put themselves in the position to win the game. Obviously, you can't make every single call, and there's no instant replay at the high school level. So, you know, regardless, that's the way the refs called it. They're going into this game. Now, it's going to be the first championship game for Bonita Vista in their 49-year history. So that'll also be exciting to see what they do in their first championship game.
And to close it out, we got a quick little matchup about Division IV right here. It's going to be Mater Dei versus Bishops. Now, this is a rematch of last year's Division IV championship game that went into overtime with Bishops winning 19-16. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out this year.
Awesome job, Jay. I'm really looking forward to seeing Helix at St. Augustine and them battle each other, which should be an intense championship game.
You know what? It is going to be an intense championship game, Austin. You know what? I'm really looking forward to that one. And the good thing is we'll be bringing you all the action from that. We're going to multiple camera angles. We're going to have reporters on the field bringing you all that stuff. And we're going to have PSL's best bringing all the highlights of those amazing championship games from championship weekend on Friday, December 4th and Saturday, December 5th. So it's going to be a pretty good weekend for some amazing some amazing high school football.
Indeed.
And to be honest, I'm excited to see Division I matchup, to see how Oceanside handles being in the Division I compared to them being in the Open Division like they won last year's championship game. And I know that Helix is going to be looking for redemption to win that championship game after suffering that loss to Oceanside last year. So it's going to be some great football coming this weekend to you.
Indeed, I'm very excited.
Okay, I would like to thank our ladies of PSL, both on the field and behind the curtain. Join us next week for our special 1-hour-long show next week when we cover the CIF Championship Games at Southwestern College. For now, I'm Jay Brown.
And I'm Austin Arninger. Good night, sports fans.